33 things they don't tell you about aging. According to Reddit, number 33. That your dick just falls off eventually. What a joke. Okay? What a joke. Hello to everyone in the stream chat. And hello to everybody watching this video after the fact. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Hannah, Linda, Stav, and Josh. Take it easy. Today's list will be, for clarity, responses to the Askreddit question, what part of aging do you wish someone had warned you about? So as we proceed to number 32, it reads, the part where hurting yourself as a kid can have long-term negative side effects. I played football in high school only, had 4 concussions at least, and busted both of my shoulders. Now in my late 20s, I get migraines, and the doctor said I have the shoulders you would find on an 80 to 90-year-old man. By my mid to late 30s, they said I will need a shoulder replacement on both arms ideally. If I knew that when I was 14, I would have done theater or math club or anything that didn't involve physical. I have to be getting fucking messages in the middle of the goddamn. Can we stop, dude? It's my own fault for allowing Skype to stay open. Now, Faith says hi, Yui Hayase says hi, Serious Sketch, hello Ian, and Kiki is here as well. Special thanks again to Kiki, Ian, Faith, Lexeus if he ends up watching. You guys were incredible last night in that confession podcast. I don't even know how to deal with you. So yeah, this guy's just talking about how if he had known that these injuries that he didn't really seem to feel at the time would have been a long-lasting thing he needed to deal with, he probably would have went about living a little bit differently. And that's a shame, because it's nothing that he can change now. So, as we continue up the list of 33 things they don't tell you about aging, we reach number 31, which very concisely is just seeing your parents age. Ooh. Wonder if anyone's responded to that. One of my scarier moments was the time I realized I was now stronger than my dad. We were moving some furniture and he took the heavier end out of habit. He couldn't lift it all that well. We switched sides, and after a few yards, I found that I could lift the end just fine. We both knew it happened, but we never spoke of it. The silent shame of age. The shame of ages. This is sad, but it's true. Someone else responds, this is a real moment for a lot of guys. When you were little, you want to be bigger and stronger. Stronger than your dad. But when you eventually are, you kind of wish you weren't. It's a victory that you don't even want as a victory, man. Ping pong. Oh, jeez. Oh, boy. Master Momo says, how are you doing, Kyle? I'm fine. Thanks to you guys. Kira says, was just watching the last stream because of Kyle. I have always read the closer as closer. Well, yeah, but the comedy is that her name was probably intended to be the closer, but because it was funnier for me. Holy crap, it was supposed to be closer. No way. That's how, okay. Okay, then I'll tell you the truth. I never really ever thought of it as closer. I was just covering my ass. Nice one, Kyle. High five, Faith. Oh, Faith is gonna like one of my bookmarks. I can't believe she's here. I didn't expect her to be here. Loser. Number 30. Love you, Faith. That hangovers are so much worse. And since the question is what part of aging do you wish someone warned you about? Oh yeah. They're saying that as you grow up, your hangovers get much worse. Man, I wonder if my yawning is going to help somebody go right to sleep, because I happen to know a lot of people go to sleep to these lists. So, since I think this list is going to be fairly short, since everybody's being very concise with their entries, we may want to read more comments just to thicken it up a bit. A comment to the hangovers are much worse one says, "Oh man, that special, horrible suffering that comes with your first official adult hangover. The tastes, the gnawing nausea, the searing pain of light, and then you remember that you have to go to work and feel like shit there all day. Then later on in life, if you're still stupid enough to drink, stupid amounts of soda, booze, you get a visit by a new horror, the multi-day hangover. Wow. I can't believe it." Josh says he's feeling pretty great, except for the shampoo he got in his eye. Let's hope that's the worst thing that happens in your day, Josh. Let's hope that's the worst. All bing bong. Number 29. That discharge is a thing that happens all the time until you hit menopause. Oh, damn, ladies. I'm 25 and I've come to accept it at this point, but no one warned me before I hit puberty that it would look like I sneezed in my panties. Every single day. My mom has told me that once you hit menopause, you either need to take some hormone supplements or you need to start using lube because things get dry and smelly down there. Lovely. Oh, holy crap. Blah, 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 blah. What a taste in my mouth, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, look, it's Emily herself making a surprise appearance in the stream. Can you believe that? We got a special guest today. Oh my gosh. Emily says, "What a lovely time to open the stream." Yeah, it's just about the sneezing in the panties with the menopause and the smelly little dryness down there. Smelly little dryness down there. Down where? In your panties, Frere. Ew. A response to this says, "I was like 19 when I made my first contact with discharge." Like, first contact like it's an alien. First contact. Ugh. I was 19. Caillou, you should be used to reading just like the grossest shit, so here we go. I was 19 when I made my first contact with discharge. Me and my girlfriend at the time went upstairs to the toilets for a quickie after dinner, and fingers in and bam. My fingers, covered in white stuff, had zero clue what it was. I asked her if she was cheating on me, because I thought it was semen somehow left inside her. I wish sex ed had been a bit more detailed when I was growing up. Sex ed in the US is a fucking disaster, says another commenter. This is almost as upvoted as the post that he's responding to, so that lets you know just how big it is. Fuck me, man. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm partially waking up, partially relaxing my vocal cords, and it's terrible. It's terrible. Serious Sketch says, my brain. Josh says, "Pro tip, always use lube that's safe for you to make sure everything fits without a problem." A lot of girls I know have like reactions to stuff. I say a lot of girls I know. I mean, I just know that a lot of girls, don't get along well with certain types of shit. So you guys got to be very careful what you're using, especially, oh my God, especially in and around the genital area. Man, this is going to help people go to sleep the way that I know that they like to these videos, because I cannot stop yawning. And you know, the luxury of me recording a list off of stream is that if I yawn like 50 times within the first couple of entries, I'll just start the damn list over, you know? I'll just start the damn list over. But how am I going to start this over? We're already in the middle of the list. As we continue up the list of 33 things they don't tell you about aging. Is this microphone loud enough? Is the microphone the problem? I can't be this close because it's still not peaking the mic. It's very strange. Some strange shit going on here. That's fine. As we continue up the list of 33 things they don't tell you about aging, we arrive at number 28. Teeth. Take care of your teeth because it's painful and expensive work if your whole mouth worked on just because you didn't brush your teeth twice a day. No, if you need your whole mouth worked on because you didn't brush your teeth twice a day. I don't even brush my teeth twice a day. Shit. Like, I brush my teeth when I wake up in the morning, and if I remember, I'll brush it before I go to sleep at night, because if I don't brush it before I go to sleep at night, I wake up like tasting grossness. But sometimes I forget, is my point, you know? It's really kind of creepy, because I recently found an electric toothbrush. Like, I really want an electric toothbrush, but I didn't want the white one, and the white one was the cheap one, right? I wanted this black one, but the black one was obnoxiously priced. Like, you could get 3 of the white electric toothbrushes for the price of one of the black ones. And I was like, that is just so bullshit. That's so racist, okay? And in what world do you pay more for the black? You know what I'm talking about? Naturally, you're supposed to get more for your buck with the black, you know what I mean? Because the black's more capable, okay? More capable. But when are you paying more for it? You know what I'm talking about? Come on now. Come on now. Serious Sketch just said, Kyle, the microphone is phone. Did you mean fine? Did you mean fine? The microphone is phone. Zolamar arrives, saying it is I hope you're having a great day, Harry. I know that where you live, time's just flipped upside down, so you'd like to take a minute to sit right there and tell me how you became the prince of not going to sleep and waking up feeling rested because you're staying up for streams that are outside of your time zone. I pulled number 27. Wait, we should read comments that are in response to this. Nah, there's not going to be any good ones. Number 27, losing your hearing. Oh, God. Oh, man. That's like, oh, God, I don't want to think about that. I guess I was warned about it, but I had a desk job after college, and I spent a decade with earbuds listening to music every day while I worked. Now my hearing is fucked. I struggle discerning specific sounds in a crowded bar to the point that I don't even try to converse with people around me. Last summer I went to a concert and I bought earplugs. A drunk chick in her early 20s near me made fun of the earplugs. I couldn't blame her. I wouldn't ever have imagined a time in my life when I needed to wear earplugs to a concert, but I knew I needed to protect my ears as best as possible. It will happen to all of you youngins as you start into your 30s. You will notice your hearing starts to get a bit more challenging, along with other weird aches and pains that you realize may never totally go away. This is getting a little scary, guys. This is getting a little scary. Kira, what are you talking about, a moist squelching? That is the type of thing that I'd expect to hear out of Emily's mouth, and if she's saying stuff like that, then we're going to have a talk with her. Emily said, can confirm the idea is god awful. I don't even know what she's talking about. Okay, look. Talking about stop squelch. What the hell? And then they got me to say it. As we travel up the list of 33 things they don't tell you about aging, we arrive at number 26. Bing bong. That major life milestones really aren't that important. Nothing will change after your first kiss or graduation / turning 18, getting beat with jumper cables. You son of a bitch. Why would they write getting beat with jumper cables? You think you're so fucking clever. This is a day ago too. What are you making references like this for, you son of a bitch? Ooh, I used to not be able to get away from somebody making a jumper cable reference in the goddamn stream chats. Just triggered me so hard just now. Emily's like, I didn't say it. I'm trying to squanch in here. Guys, if you look up a TIFU on, I have a playlist called Musical Kyle, and there's one TIFU on there because I sang a TIFU one time, and there was a guy trying to masturbate like in a bathroom, and because I was being silly and singing, I just inserted the phrase, I'm trying to squanch in here. What are you banging on the door for? You know? Ridiculous. Listen, number 26. That major milestones really aren't that important. Nothing will change after your first kiss, graduation, turning 18, getting beat with jumper cables, or turning 21. Life just keeps going, and events that aren't your death don't really impact you as much as you believe they would. Events that aren't your death. One of these things is not like the other. Jumper cables, jumper cables. Number 25. It will continually take exponentially more disgusting porn to get you off. Man, it can't get any worse. It can't get any worse than some of the stuff that I'm checking out. You know what I'm talking about? It cannot get any worse than some of the stuff you checking out. That'd be a great confession podcast right there. We can talk about that tonight. Tonight we're gonna talk about, on the confession podcast, what's the grossest thing you've gotten off to? Be fucking real with yourself, you know what I mean? What's your weirdest kink / fetish? Like, have you watched porn, even if it was like, you know, CGI, you know, if it was like what's the word? Like a source filmmaker, you know, thing where they rigged up 3D bodies that looked human but weren't human. Were you watching like a dead person? A girl that was like dead? You know, like, did you, I saw this one thing one time. It was a Life is Strange snuff thing. I'm not joking. It was a Life is Strange snuff thing where I think the teacher shot the girl that's like the main character and then started banging her corpse. And I was like, oh my God. Unzip. You know what I'm talking about? I'm kidding. Okay, that's enough. Woo. I think somebody says it's their birthday. Is it Professional Commenter's birthday? Wow. I wish you the very best growth in your chest area. And then all the attention from the boys. Lisa, it's your birthday. Happy birthday to Mia. Michael Davis says, a guy on Reddit who catches you into some made up stories and ends them with getting beaten with jumper cables. Yeah, that's some other dude. Yeah. Emily says, I vote no on this idea. On what idea, woman? Everybody's saying happy birthday to Tamia. You birthday cucks. Get fucked on your birthday. Not literally, unless that's what you're into. So as we travel up the list of 33 things they don't tell you about aging, isn't that ironic? Because it's her birthday, guys. Or is it irony or is it coincidence? Either way, you're going to learn something this birthday, little lady. And it's going to be about how you're going to be suffering discharge in your panties all the way up until menopause. At which point you'll have to use lube if you want to get it on. And it's going to be dry and gross smelling down there. I didn't write it, but it's the truth. So, number 24. Jesus Christ, 24 is long. Man, this is something crazy. Number 24 reads, your parents started to decline physically, mentally, and socio-culturally. I like that word. I like that word. That is probably the worst part about aging, is like having to see that your parents are just out of fucking touch. You know what I'm talking about? Because it'd be one thing if, like, the things that they said made you go, what the fuck, mom and dad? It'd be one thing if the things that they do made you go, what the fuck, mom and dad? But when they're constantly demonstrating through a variety of combinations of things that they're saying and things that they're doing, just a genuine lack of what you would assume is common sense, but basically just like an inability to mesh with things as they are now, it's just like, they'd have no idea. They have no idea. And this is going to sound kind of rude, but I need you to think of it like an IT person. What is IT, you may ask, if you're not understanding? Imagine like you're just a dude that's tasked with fixing computers when other people fuck them up, okay? After a certain amount of time, you know, IT people who work in IT have a stigma of being like grumpy and just like, oh my God, I can't deal with the people, like these fucking people. And it's because like when a person doesn't understand what the hell that's going on a computer, as far as, whoa. Well done, microphone. I tapped the button and it muted it for the instant that I tapped the button and then unmuted it when I took my finger off of it. Like that's what I wanted to do. Stupid. Listen, the point of my IT analogy, to try and make this concise and quick, is to say that in many cases, you'll come to a conclusion when you're fixing a problem for somebody that they'll never understand what the hell they're doing wrong. And you will end up realizing that it's not a wise choice of time. It's not a wise way of spending your time to try and convince them or make them aware of what the hell they're doing wrong. Thank you for blessing me, guys. I didn't mean to sneeze with the mic live. My point is this. Sometimes when people do shit wrong, you telling them how to do shit right isn't going to make a difference because they don't care. They don't care to learn or to try to be any other way. And in a lot of ways, that's how, you know, your parents are. You know what I'm talking about? You could literally, you could wallpaper the house, you know, with the way that things could go or the way that they should do things so that they can avoid making the same mistakes in the future. And they're just not going to make it. Maybe it's some combination of being stubborn or being set in the ways that they used to know things used to work. Who knows? You know what I'm talking about? But we live in a world where, you know, something goes wrong and we don't know how to fix it. We'll Google it. We'll YouTube a video on how to do this in an instant and we'll be there. Like, how many times will your parents approach you with some shit where it's just like, did you even like think about how you might have solved this problem? You know what I mean? You got your phone right on you, shit like this. It's just driving you insane. And that's why I make the IT analogies, because people fuck up their computer and then they call in IT. And IT comes in and they see the problem and they go, this is you. You did this. Here's how you don't do it in the future. And they're all like, oh, well, you know, whatever. That's what we pay you for. You know what I'm talking about? But like when you realize that even if this person were to try to not do this thing in the future, they would still fuck up, because it's almost as if it's a different language to them. It's a different realm. It's a different world. That's the kind of parallel it paints with your parents. It's not just like the degradation of their mind or like the fact that they're from a different age. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. It's like they're almost incapable of adapting to the world around them. And that's fucking scary. Obviously not in everybody's case, but in many cases, you'll see that some of these people, as they grow, they can't fit. And it's super sad, because I don't think there's anything sadder than kind of being in the middle of an interaction with somebody where you're trying to help them to learn or to understand something, but then realizing that it's a lost fucking cause. That's one of the saddest realizations you'll ever come to, is when you're dealing with somebody, you're talking to them, you're trying to illuminate them or bring them to terms with something that is like factual, you know, it's like black and white, it's irrefutable. You're trying to teach them so that they learn something, so that they walk away from this better than how they came into it. But then you reach a point where you're just like, oh shit, they're not going to get it. They're not going to get this. They're not going to get this. I feel bad for teachers that probably come to that conclusion with some students, because it's pretty fucked up. But I don't mean to ramble. So as we reach number 24 on the list of 33 things they don't tell you about aging, you'll start to see your parents decline physically, mentally, and socioculturally. It's not a sudden thing. It's very gradual, almost like when you're growing taller. You might see them less frequently, and maybe you see them once or twice a year. Physically, their appearance changes. Your dad's hair is a little grayer. Your mom seems a little shorter. Your mom gets that short haircut that old women sometimes get. Your dad decides to give up on cutting down on bad food and trying to exercise. He sees little point in subjecting himself to hard self-improvement, and he has twilight years ahead of him and feels like he's earned the right to do what he wants. And this includes kicking on with his bad habits. You find you have to fix busted hinges on a gate or replace light bulbs because these are big jobs for your parents now. Technology passes your parents by. You get your mom and dad an iPod to put 3 albums on it that they listen to, but she never uses it because she's only managed to figure out how to play solitaire and manage her email on the $1,500 Sony laptop and won't know how to sync up with iTunes. But when she was your age, you listened to music on the radio and recorded things on cassette. Okay. You observe that your parents still look through the TV guide and plan to watch shows as they air on free-to-air TV. So you think Netflix and Apple TV would make their lives easier. And so you set that up for them. Then you realize your parents don't trust their credit card details with anyone and still pay their bills in person. So you have to work hard to convince them that it's okay to give Netflix their information. Your dad has somehow learned to stream everything for free on a site that's bursting with ads and malicious links. So he's seen everything on Netflix in potato quality anyway. He doesn't see the point in paying $8.99 a month, but figures it will be good for your mom. Your mom burns through The Crown in 2 nights, and when you tell her there isn't a season 2, she says, well, what good is Netflix anyway? Meanwhile, you've spent half a day Googling the TV model and soundbar model and Apple TV remote to write simple step-by-step guides for how to use them in tandem. You walk your mom through the guides and she seems to understand, but a couple of days later forgets and is back to watching something on Netflix with tin can TV audio quality bleeding out of the speaker. But to you, an Apple TV remote is discernible from a TV remote, is discernible from a soundbar remote. But your mom watched the moon landing in 1969 at the house of the only person in the street with a TV, and it was a black and white TV with dials. Then when you hear about gender fluidity or marriage equality, you hear your parents say things like people just choose to be gay or your generation loves taking offense. But in their day, gays were beaten or killed, at worst closeted at best. And our understanding of hormones and genetics and sexuality was very new. Your dad tells us that smartest thing you could do right now is buy a house and doesn't seem to understand why you wouldn't put yourself in a position where you could do that. But your dad bought his first house when they were dirt cheap. You could leave high school and get a job, and the banks made darn sure you could afford to repay a loan. Your mom buys a paper every day, and its right-leaning rag tells her to fear our culture being taken away from us by migrants who promote terror and will replace our entire legal system. You can't convince her that migration has a net benefit for the economy and the probability of being involved in terrorist attacks is so low, you're more likely to be killed by a police in a domestic violence situation. Then you remember she never went to university and wasn't taught proper probability in school because it wasn't a subject women took or that nuns taught. Interesting perspective, man. It's an unfortunate and scary perspective. Like, the thing is, and I've said this to you before, just now I kind of said it in a nutshell. I said the saddest thing that you'll realize when dealing or interacting with somebody is that regardless of how right you are, your point will not get across to these people. They just can't be taught, and that some people aren't willing to be taught. In the same way that like some people will be called to deal with a problem that they could easily deal with themselves, it's not that they aren't aware that they could deal with this problem. It's not that they aren't aware that they could spend a second typing the words into Google and going to YouTube to go, yo, this is how you do it. Here's a video of how you do it. Follow along with this video. Do you know what I mean? They're not willing, and that's scary. And these people are so set in their ways that it's almost like having an argument about racism with grandma or grandpa. You know what I'm talking about? It ain't worth it. And all you can do, and I know how rude and like dark this is going to sound, is wait for these people to die, because they're going to live set in these ways. Nobody's going to be able to tell them otherwise, because they aren't just under an impression. They haven't just adopted a mentality. They have been indoctrinated into this. They were raised into this. Do you get what I'm saying? And if a person lives their life believing certain colors to be certain colors, you walking up to somebody pointing at the color blue and going, this is orange. No, they may agree with you and say, yeah, sure, but you're not going to change their mind, dude. They've lived a life and believed that thing. And that's the sad truth. You can't really just make a person believe something that they don't want to believe. Religion. Yeah. So guys, sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the stream for a little bit, but the bottom line is, this is the saddest part possibly about aging, is watching people around you who are just left behind mentally, culturally, socially, who just are incapable of developing because of limits that they've set on themselves. It's not like they're retarded. It's not like they're autistic. They're not on the spectrum. They're not mentally handicapped. You know what I mean? They don't suffer from like psychosis or schizophrenia. They don't have these boundaries set on them that, you know, unfortunately they can't overcome because of things going on in their life that were out of their control because of conditions, you know? They have put these limits on themselves. They have chosen to believe certain things and shut out what they don't agree with. And that's the craziest and saddest part about religion, to be honest, is that a lot of religion forces people not to be objective and to absorb as much information as possible so that they can see things from multiple perspectives. You know what I mean? So that they can take all the evidence available to them and then form a conclusion. It teaches them to believe a certain thing and then blot out anything that doesn't appear to line up with that thing that they believe, you know? If it falls outside the blinders that they've equipped themselves with, like a horse, then they just don't look at it. And then they only find exactly what they're looking for. And this, again, is kind of irrelevant as it pertains to people that you don't really give a fuck about. You can kind of live your life without coming across certain people, as long as they're not in the workplace, or as long as they don't, you know, maybe they're not a judge or they're not a cop or something. Somebody that has kind of your life in their radar, on their radar. But fuck me, man, when it's a family member, you know, and they're racist as hell, or they have really, really like strong, firm views as it pertains to their political beliefs, their religious beliefs, and they try to impose that shit upon you because, you know, you're immediately subject to judgment if you don't line up with whatever it is that they have been indoctrinated and been raised believing, you know, then you're the pariah, you're the outcast, because they don't do what they were taught is the thing to do. You know, that tradition, as far as they're concerned, says that they need to do this. They've been doing these things. They've been demonstrating and performing these rituals that they have been born into and know no other way. You know, it's pretty sad, but, and again, this may be rude to say it just like this, but you gotta just wait for these people to die, because they're not gonna learn. Some people ain't gonna learn, and you gotta release that. You got to release the fact that they're not going to learn, because, you know, who's the crazier person? The person that's crazy, or the person that's trying to reason and argue with the crazy person to bring them to, you know, sanity? And it's one thing to try. You should always try. And I'm never going to get down on anybody for trying, but holy shit. Holy shit. I apologize. That was a little thing I went off on. But you'll know how sad it is, and you'll probably know becoming passionate about it when it happens to you. So once again, I bet professional commenter like flew away, but a happy birthday to her because it's her birthday. Jessie Green comes out of the woodwork. Jessie Green comes out of the woodwork. But guys, yes, let's go ahead and scroll up. On the list of 33 things they don't tell you about aging, we reach number 23. Sorry, part of me wanted to read the comments. Sorry, yeah, part of me wants to read the comments on the one that we just read. So if you'll excuse me and allow me to do that, somebody else responds, oh, well, he did edit it. So let me see. Some people are saying that I mustn't like my parents, or that I'm politicizing OP's question. Not true at all, and not my intention. I love my parents, and I'm very thankful for them, which makes a lot of this more challenging to process, because for half of my life, my parents were the ultimate authority on everything to me, and seemed so capable of doing anything. Now that perception has shifted, and that's not something anyone told me would happen as I got older. My point about gender fluidity was to illustrate that there are concepts my parents outright reject or dismiss without further discussion. This is exactly what I said earlier about just like being rigid and unmoving, and regardless of any information that there is thrown in their direction, if it doesn't line up with what they believe, then, I don't even want to hear it. You know what I'm talking about? And that is a challenging experience, he goes on to say. I tried not to weigh into political discourse for fear of making my overall point less relatable. My comment about the probability of a terrorist attack was specific to my country, and then he has a link. Note, my parents have never traveled abroad, and this was more to illustrate the amount of time and energy my mom spent in fear and judgment is probably better off spent doing literally anything else, for the remote likelihood that those fears will be realized. Some of you have said that your experience is totally the opposite of mine, and your parents are preemptive in terms of their health and progressive politically. I'm super glad for you in that case, as it seems you won't experience this. And for those of you who have had sad replies, I didn't mean to make this seem bleak and hopeless. Your parents are just other people doing the best that they can given their experiences. I guess this was a broader point, that you realize they're just other adults like you. So let's go into the comments that are in response to this, because somebody is saying absolutely this, in that they agree. On top of that, your parents will criticize every decision you make like you are still 8 years old, despite the fact that you still have to reprogram their damn remote every fucking week. You know what I mean? Motherfucker. Someone else responds, and they won't listen to your financial advice when that is what do as your profession. Hilarious, your financial advisor, and they don't listen. I try to talk about my finances with my parents, and they still treat me like a child, so they think everything I say is just cute. No, keeping all of your savings in cash is not a good way to store your life savings. Well, what can you even say? Professional commenter still appears to be here, so she says thank you, happy birthday to little Tamia, who hopes to someday nab her a man. I'm kidding. She could be into ladies. We don't know. The closer says, oh, well, I can't really translate it. It's like a peaceful Shabbat. Ha. Oh, bing bong. Oh, my God. Squeaker Jr., I hope you haven't been doing any drugs, okay? You were leaving some pretty hot fire confessions last night, bro. You need to stay clean for me, homie. Find you some hobbies that make some sense, or find a lady that's all like, you want to see these titties, and you're all like, yeah, I want to see those titties, and then she's all like, well, do some jumping jacks or something. The fuck. What a lady. Do some junkin' jacks for titties. Junkin' jacks. I think Junkrat is getting on my mind. As we travel up this list, we reach number 23. The question being asked once again is, what part of aging do you wish someone had warned you about? 23 reads that even the most unlikely of your friends to get married and have kids will do it and disappear eventually. If you're not on that path too, things get a lot more lonely. A lonely to who, you fucking cuck? What are you, a woman? You know what I mean? And I don't mean that in an utterly rude way, but I'll tell you what, man. Most of the men that I know that aren't married aren't looking at their Facebook feeds going, "Oh my God, everybody's getting pregnant and having babies." You know why? Because we don't give a fuck. All right, live your bitch ass life and don't watch other people. Jesus Christ. Sometimes I'll look at a picture of some food that someone has posted on their Instagram account, you know? Not on Instagram because I don't browse Instagram, but imagine they post it to Reddit and I'm looking at Reddit and I'm just like, who the fuck is this for? Who's out there liking all these pictures, not just because they're food? I can understand liking a picture of food, but liking somebody's constant updates on Instagram of some picture, some fucking, you know what I mean? This isn't like a location. You know, maybe you're saving an experience at a time that you went to a restaurant, you really enjoyed it, but this is a picture of food, my nigga. Ugh. What can you do? As we travel up this list, we arrive at number 22. Randomly growing hair on your chin/neck. One day you see this big black hair and try to brush it. And brush it off. Oh, you think it's stuck. So you try to pull it off, then you realize it's growing out of you. From then, it's all downhill. Every day you pull out half a dozen with tweezers. Is this another woman? I demand to know if this is a woman. I'm just curious. What aspects of a woman's life are men most unaware of? This is their top post. So yes, this is a woman. And it's not like I didn't, know that already. I just wanted to prove to you guys that it was a woman. So there you go. Oh my God, there's hair coming out of me. What the hell? What? Number 21. That gray/white head hair isn't the same texture as the rest of your hair. They're wiry, like pubes. Somebody says, I'm not scared of the color change, but the texture change has me quite concerned. Get scared, everybody in the stream chat. Goosebumps. Jesse Green says, it can actually happen to families too. If you're the single childless one, your family sometimes forget you exist. Good. Y'all should be thankful. Thing is, some of you guys have like the most flowery and wonderful parents in the world or something where you're just dying for their attention at all times. Y'all got me fucked up. The day I'm forgotten for a month or two will just be a fucking gift. A stress-free gift. Amy Versetti says, I'm really sad I missed a lot of the live streams this week. It's not your fault. I was streaming more than normal. I streamed 3 times yesterday for 2 hours a piece. It was madness is what it was. Like, I'm a mad guy. Alex Yu says, oh my God, hi guys. Oh my God. Let's go. Okay, let's go. As we travel up the list of 33 things they don't tell you about aging. You guys like that thumbnail? It's a picture of a dude that fell down the stairs. Hilarious, man. He didn't really fall down the stairs. It's a stock image. You're supposed to use your ability to discern and go, who's taking a picture of a man when he fell down the stairs? You should be helping that guy. You know what I'm talking about? Just you standing there. Harold, did you fall down the stairs? I'm posting this on Instagram. That'd be a funny Instagram picture if it was a real dude falling down the stairs, but it's not. It's for the sake of a picture. It's a stock photo. I typed in old man into Google Images earlier because I wanted a good aging picture. You know what I mean? And then I was like, would it be? I typed in old man falling because I figured that would be funnier to me because I'm an asshole. You know what I mean? And I mean, it is funny to a certain degree. So there's that. As we travel up the list of 33 things they don't tell you about aging, we arrive at, oh my God, an electric toothbrush. What the hell is going on here, Kyle? Oh, my wish list. I'm kidding. Okay. As we travel up the list of 33 things they don't tell you about aging, we reach number 20. Wow. The hype for when you become an adult slash, turning 18 isn't really that great. It gets more stressful and you are expected to be more responsible. Someone's all like, 18 years old here. Very underwhelming and fewer perks than I expected or anticipated. 19 and all I got from adulthood is anxiety disorder. Psh, self-prescribed, I'm guessing. Oh my God. Number 19 says, oh my God, you want to like fucking air out your mouth or something, Cornell? Something wrong with you? I'm just pronouncing everything stupid. Number 19 reads, being young in your head, but your body not agreeing with you. I occasionally get depressed. Nothing serious about it. I used to be an avid runner and beach volleyball player. Now my body refuses to let me do either of them. I think this, if it were phrased more eloquently, would be the perfect way to describe aging, is that you don't feel older, you just become older. Dude, sometimes I get crazy and I ask myself how old I am. Sometimes I look back and go, hey man, when did Pokemon come out? You know what I'm talking about? Hey man, you want to know what always puts me in perspective? I remember going into the movie. You went into the movie theater, Kyle. I remember going into the movie theater to see X-Men. X-Men. I went to go see X-Men. I was so excited. My comic book is becoming a movie. This is so cool. I went in to go see X-Men. One of my favorite iterations of heroes, because they were a little more gritty. They weren't heroes because they had powers. They were mutants. They got powers. People still hated them. X-Men, love it. They were gonna be a movie now. I was going into the theater to see X-Men the movie. That was 17 fucking years ago. That was 17 fucking years ago. What the fuck? How old am I? Somebody named Andy Bass, holy smokes, I've actually had my finger on the pulse all these live streams at work, and this live stream terrifies me the most. Jesse Green says, I'll buy you a toothbrush, Kyle. Jesse Green always makes my mouth water. Because a toothbrush would go in your mouth. That's the point, guys. That's the point. Because a toothbrush would go in your mouth. Wait, what? Michael Dorn says, damn, I have never realized X-Men was that old. The movie came out 17 years ago, dude. What did Closer say? It's because I live in a world making you feel like you're famous. It's because we live in a world where, okay. Guys, I'm just, man, it's so sad. But to reiterate, number 19 says, being young in your head, but your body not agreeing with you. Someone else just responded, yeah, but I just broke my ankle and tore a ligament playing indoor soccer at 31. The body just doesn't hold up like it used to. It's not even about it not being as, I want to say, malleable as perhaps you were when you were younger, You also had the, I would call it the traits of a rubber band. Because when you snap a rubber band snap back. You know what I'm talking about? Retains its initial elasticity. That's a good phrase. It's a good term, okay? When you're younger, I could throw you down a flight of stairs, motherfucker. It doesn't, as long as you don't hit your head and die, you're gonna heal up just fine when you're at that age. You know what I mean? You are gonna heal up just fine. Try that with some 35 to 40-year-old motherfucker. Oh my, you're gonna have to live your life with this. No. My wedding was tomorrow. Kyle, what are you weaving? What kind of story are you? Come on, guys. Number 18 on the list, where the question being asked is, what part of aging do you wish somebody warned you about? I'm only 28, but I wish someone would have said how important it is to stay limber. That's right. Do like a little limber motion where you bounce up and down a little bit. That's what you got to do. You got to stay spry. Just bending over in the morning. I am so tight and stiff. Thank God it doesn't hurt badly. You all right there, man? Thank God it doesn't hurt badly. Yet. but I know that it's right around the corner. I'm trying to get into yoga and stretch every night before bed. It's something that most of us should consider doing, man. It's so true. Guys, you should do that. You should find a way before bed to just, stretch or something. Or in the morning when you wake. Number 17 says 31 is the new 13. You're gonna get pimples again, and they're gonna be hideous. Excuse me? Someone says, but now I have a wife that likes to pop them weirdly. I think that's one of the cutest things that women can do, is when they're all in your face like, yeah, come here. And they're all like popping your blackheads and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Oh my God, that's so nuts. Somebody said, God bless these women and their sadistic pleasure from our whimpering. Someone says, I'm one of these women. My boyfriend calls me crazy. I love it. I gotta find a woman like this, dude, who's gonna like try to jump on me and like put her hands on my face and like squish garbage. Like, honestly, they freak me the fuck out. Stripes watches like I don't know what they're called, you know what I mean? But when they're on like somebody's back or something and then they pop it and like pus comes out and stuff. Gross. Sarah Bishop is into that shit. It makes my skin crawl just thinking about it. She would tell me all about some of these nasty ass videos that she would watch on YouTube because like that's like the next level. You know what I'm talking about? It's one thing where like, oh, Kyle's got a blackhead on his face. I love Kyle. Let me just get up there and like get rid of this so that it doesn't manifest into something weird. But when you're just watching this shit recreationally, like this is what you do in your downtime, what the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with Sarah Bishops? Okay. Oh my God. So let's go to number 16, man. This is one of the saddest comment sections I've ever read, says some dude. Yep, I guess it is. Oh man, I feel the opposite, which is exactly a part of how I would answer. Getting older means caring less about things you thought you would freak out about. You think you can do it, but you think you can't do it, but you can, and it feels almost fine. Yeah, you're a little punk. That's the problem. Look at this young little motherfucker. He was probably born after Pokemon Johto came out. You know what I mean? Pokemon. He don't even know the original Poké-Rap. Electro, Diglett, Nido, Red Mankey, Venusaur, Tata, Furo, Pidgey, Sea King, Jolteon, Dragonite, Gaslight, Bonnet, Orion, Poliwrath, Butterfree. Know what I'm talking about? I want to be the best there ever was, to beat all the rest, yeah, that's my goals. Okay, what am I doing again? Jesus Christ, stay on track here, Kyle. Number 15. Oh boy, write me a novel, why don't you? Oh man, on the list of 33 things they don't tell you about aging, we arrive at number 15. This may be gender specific. I am a woman. Thanks for clarifying. But how the perception of your looks changes as you age. In other words, by the mere fact that I am visibly aging at all past a certain age, I became inherently less attractive. I would say that up until my mid-20s, maybe past that, every year I seemed to get more attractive. I didn't really change. I've always been pretty trim with a good body, nice hair, nice face, etc. But somehow I grew into my looks. I went from being someone who got a lot of attention, but mostly bad, to someone who got a lot more attention, good and bad. Then as I got past 30, then 35, then 40, things changed a lot. I was still dating when I was 30, but it became much, much harder. Again, I didn't gain weight or get gray or even have any wrinkles, but I did look like I was in my 30s rather than my 20s. And the men who were interested in me would get older and older with the passing years. First, mostly guys 5 years older would be interested, then 10. I did meet some men who were my own age, one of whom I eventually married. He continues to think I'm good looking. He also isn't too hard on the eyes. This has also affected my work. I now work in the same place I did when I was in my 20s. I left and came back 15 years later, and it's amazing to see how differently people, many of them the same people, treat me. When I was young, I often felt like I was the target of a lot of attention from the big men in charge, but I also didn't realize that the part of the reason they took me seriously or acted like it when they did was because they enjoyed having the attention and approval of a young pretty girl. Attention and approval, you dumb broad. How stupid and naive do you have to be? This is about them and the fantasy that they perpetuate that perhaps they can get your ass in the sack. And that's why you're worthy of their glance or their fixed eye contact while you're talking. You get what I'm saying? Come on. Girls listening, girls in the stream chat, half you got men already. You know what I mean? So I know this may be taken with a grain of salt. But what you need to understand is half of the niggas that y'all are fucking around with right now are not going to be the dudes that you spend the rest of your life with. Even if you were to get married to these guys right now, there's no guarantee that you would stay married to these guys because, like I've said plenty of times in the past, who you are right now for each other may be great. You may like who they are, they may like who you are, but you're going to change. And he may not like who you change into. You may not like yourself when you change. And on top of that, he's going to change. You may not like who he changes into, and he may not like who he changes into himself. So ice that cake with the fact that both of you are going to change over the course of the relationship, and who you change into may certainly not like who he changes into. You may not even change into somebody that likes that he is right now. So, to run that by you one more time, imagine if one of you changes and the other one stays the same. The you that you change into may not like him, and the him that he changes into may not like you, even if you or him were to stay the same. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, all right? As it pertains to you and aging, you need to be outrageously aware that the people that are giving you attention are not always doing it because you deserve that attention, but because they're trying to get something out of you. This doesn't just apply to women. Men, this is coming at you too. Men maybe more specifically because a lot of women are seeking what men have, you know what I mean? And it's not looks. It's not anything that's going to last. It's them finances, baby. I'm doing this little thing with my fingers. Can you hear the little finger thing? You hear the thing? That's the money. That's the money that I'm doing the finger thing with. Oh my God, that's what they're after you for. So don't be oblivious. You know what I mean? The hills are alive with the sound of music. Why would you even say that right there? Okay? Let's continue up this corny ass list before we all start to feel too old. Can you believe the X-Men came out 17 years ago in the theaters? What? Wait a minute. You know what I'm talking about? Let's look up some shit real quick now. When did The Matrix come out? All right. The Matrix came out in 1999, 18 years ago. That's 2 years away from a decade, motherfucker. You are old. Okay? You are old. The original Matrix came out nearly 2 fucking decades ago. You remember seeing that in the theater? When did Lord of the Rings come out? Lord of the Rings crime out, nigga. COME. December 19th, 2001. See, that's a little bit better. That's 16 years. Okay. All right. Yeah, you all right. You okay. But there's some kids watching this stream that are younger than 16 years old. There are kids that weren't even born when this movie came out, motherfucker. Oh my fucking God. Okay. What the fuck? Shut up, Gael. You're such a nightmare. Now let's go through this list. Number 14, your body is going to hurt for no reason at all sometimes. That comment took my voice a little bit. That's not okay. Your body is going to hurt for no reason at all sometimes, and you'll go to the doctor and they'll tell you everything is fine. Jesus Christ, something about that sucks. Amy's all like, if you date a guy from a rich family, everybody automatically thinks that you're in it for the money. You're in the money. Number 13, damn, I came to this thread for adults to scare me into moisturizing my skin, and instead, I'm now having an existential crisis. That's because you're a punk-ass little kid. Somebody else says, reading this makes me worried that I'm wasting my body right now, typing this in bed. Like, shit, man, I'm 21 in a little over a week. God, you kids are young on fucking Reddit. God. Ugh. Number 12, I saw a bumper sticker that summed it up pretty nicely. Inside every old person is a young person wondering what happened. Ooh. Inside every old person is a young person wondering what happened. Do I have heartburn? No. I think my chest just feels funny. Interesting. Well, look, let's travel up this list here. Number 11 says, my knees dying on me. I played at least one season of soccer from age 4 to 22 every year, and then some small league once I hit 24. I'm now sitting at 40, and my right knee sounds like a bowl of Rice Krispies if I bend it just right. A bowl of Rice Krispies. Snap, crackle, pop, make a crawl to the world. Wait, this is a response to that snap, crackle, pop. That was not what that was about, Kyle. You can't summarize this man's knees going to shit by calling his entire post snap, crackle, pop. Ugh. I'm 21, and my knees have sounded like Rice Krispies cereal every time I bend over. Is this video sponsored by Rice Krispies? You know what I'm talking about? Motherfucker. Is it what you a snap, cracker, pop? What the fuck? Stop talking about Rice Krispies. They don't hurt though, so I wonder if they pop, why they pop so much. What? As we arrive at number 10 on the list, you're clicking the wrong thing, Kyle. On the list of 33 things they don't tell you about aging, I'd like to take a special chance to thank my sexy and incredible patrons for just doing what they do, you know. These guys are pretty hardcore. I don't know where they come off. I don't know where they get all the gumption. They just wake up and dust their shoulders off, and apparently, you know, they just do things that make my butt want to fall off because they're so incredible. But we reach number 10. Number 10 reads, I didn't see it with a lengthy scroll, but since I'm so late, it was almost certainly already mentioned. Finding friends as an adult is really hard. It's funny that they say an adult, and here's why, guys. Because when you're an adult, maybe you're not in school so much. Maybe all you have is work, okay? And when you're young, you can kind of just gravitate towards whatever dumbass kids you have in that class if you're dying for, you know, companionship or something. But yeah, when you're an adult, dude, what are you going to do? Go out to a park? Go out to a bar? What if you're shut-in like me? You know what I'm talking about? Where you going to find friends? At a convention? Ugh. I'm a nerd, you're a nerd, let's be nerd friends, bye. Number 10, finding friends as an adult is very hard. You're dumped into friends in your youth because you spend so much time with this set of people in school for several years. I was never particularly good at it then, but I have 100 times the social skills now, and it's really damn difficult. If your coworkers don't end up doing friendly things with you, you have to somehow, in between work, sleep, eating, and managing all of the other problems in this thread, go out intentionally to activities repeatedly, trying to find people that don't suck, that also think you don't suck, and then hope that you're trying to become friends isn't off-putting for them. You're used to having 8 hours a day at work, or you're used to having 8 hours a day at school to do this. Now you have to cram it into 1 hour twice a week. If you made good, valuable friendships in high school or college, hold on to them as best as you can, because replacing them is a daunting task. Or at least it has been for me. It's gonna be for everybody, dude. Somebody said, I just turned 30 and I'm so fucking alone. Everyone's busy, everyone's apart, far apart, and everyone has different interests. Oh my god, at best you find someone to do a few activities with, but never really from a deep long-term connection. It's so incredibly depressing. I mean, look, be like me, just don't have many friends. At all. Like, you know what I mean? I could go as far as to say, no, I have no friends, but it'd piss off Hannah. You know what I'm talking about? It'd piss off, like, Emily. Maybe Faith. And obviously, probably Stripes. But Stripes isn't here. What you gonna do about it? Well, she probably watches these videos after I'm done recording them on fast forward. Because I hate it when you listen to the videos like this, Stripes. Oh, Hannah says, "Hi, friend." That's so cute. I said Emily. Emily, oh my God. I said you. I'm teasing. Ugh. She hasn't said a thing in the stream chat and was immediately on deck with that sad face. What is this? She's probably got the biggest smile on her face right now. Like, yeah, got him. That punk motherfucker. Oh my God. As we travel up the list of 33 things they don't tell you about aging, we arrive at number 9. The eyes. I wish I could have my younger eyes with no reading glasses. Oh, and you know all of those metal concerts? Now that's how you get tinnitus. It's an Overwatch reference for anybody who plays that game. So there's that. Look at Emily with the in the fucking chat. Okay. My brand. My eyes. Number 8, man. What is happening? That there is no such thing as an adult. You just grow older, and people expect more of you, and you do your best to make shit work. When you are old enough to say, when I grow up, that is as grown up as you ever gonna be. And the rest is trial, error, and hard work. Bing bong. Oh boy. Master Momo's like, I'm your friend. I love you, Kaya. Hannah, I friend though. It's like a robot. I could make a robot and call it I friend. I friend. And then even the robot will realize that I'm not good friend material. Would you like to go for a walk, Gael? And I'd be like, that sounds like a lot of work. It is my birthday, Gael. Can we do something together? All right, man. You want to watch something on Netflix here? You know, we could get a pizza or something. I don't know. That sounds lame, Gael. I'm going to the robo orgy. Yeah. I just put my head in my hand because like there's like dual personalities at war inside my brain, and the ones that know that I'm crazy are not pleased with me right now, and that's cool. But you're never gonna get out. You're never gonna get out. Deal with it. Deal with the fact that you are trapped. I've locked you in the box, and Pandora will never be alone to release you. What a shame for you. What a shame. Number 7 reads, when you start to know your parents as just regular people instead of your parents. Yeah, fuck those guys. A response reads, this has been one of the worst parts of getting older for me. In my head, they are still in their late 30s, but every time I see them, they're in their 60s for some reason. The other day, my dad told me that they'd like to spend their remaining years, and I'm thinking, why worry about that when you're still so young? But they aren't young anymore, and neither am I, and I don't like these discussions. I just want to sit at the kids' table again while my parents play cards with their friends. Someone else responds, my parents recently took me to where they have reserved their burial plots. The area is stunningly gorgeous in the Colorado mountains. The whole thing made me sad. Dad joked about him and Mom spending all of my inheritance money in the next 10 to 15 years. I looked at him and said, do it. I want them to enjoy themselves. And that makes me happier than thinking about whatever money/stuff I'll get when they pass on. Crap, they're growing old is still hitting me in the gut. Dust in the wind. All your parents are is dust in the wind. It hits him in the gut or something. What the fuck? Oh boy. Ma Segma says, Kyle, thank you for these streams. I'm a single father who works from home while raising twin 4-year-olds. The 2-hour streams and hour-long lists keep me going. Thank you, brother. Well, look, man, I'm really happy that this is hitting anybody well, because the fact that every time I end the streams and I think to myself, these are too long. You know what I mean? I just feel like I'm pissing everybody off, but I'm glad that some of you are enjoying it. You're all wonderful people, and I hope that I'm, I don't know, providing something of a little audio list that you might be interested in, and that you could, I've already started to trail off with what? I don't remember. I don't remember where I was going with it, man. Here we go. Number 6 on the list, where the question being asked is, what part of aging do you wish someone had warned you about? You know, maybe if I wasn't so old, I'd be able to remember where the fuck I was going with half of the things that I was saying. You see, it was all a bit. It was all a bit. I was doing it to illustrate the whole. Oh man, if you could see how often I facepalm in the middle of these videos, it'd be hilarious. Number 6, how fast time seems to start moving as you get older. I remember one time somebody was telling me a story about how they believed that, the phrase "time flies when you're having fun." They were saying that, like, time flies relative to how you age or some shit like that. Like, they were saying how time seems slow as fuck when you're a little kid. You know what I mean? But then how, like, as you age, it just goes fast as fuck. You know what I'm talking about? And that's pretty creepy, the way that he was spinning it. But I don't have time. Somebody says, years are short, days are long. Modest Mouse. Oh, man. Did he make that song where he said, I ran my car into a cop car the other day? And then he was saying, sometimes life's okay. Modest Mouse makes a song called, all right, already we're all, hold on. Is that what it's called? Float on. We'll all float on. Yeah, I like that song, but it's probably not one of their better songs. Because I'm a poser. I'm not into Modest Mouse enough to know anything other than whatever their mainstream bullshit hits were. So, forgive me. I'm into women? That sounds really weird, especially with the inflection that you gave it. I'm into women? Shut up, Kyle. Everyone knows. Everyone knows. Let me look up one of the things that I did. And I'll show you some of the women artists that I like. Okay. Back when I was really young, I photoshopped this picture of all of the female artists that I liked. And what the fuck? Why did you fucking open the image in a new tab? Sorry. When I was younger, I photoshopped an image of all of these artists that I was into. Here they are. It was, why isn't this centered, Lord? If I open this image in a new tab, will it pull it at the top left? No, it will not. Very strange stuff, internet. Very strange stuff. Maybe I'll just, like, capture another window and then move that window to the center so that when it does come to the center, you'll see what the hell I'm talking about. At any rate, some of these hoes that I'm into are Utada Hikaru, who famously made that bullshit song that they put into, she made Simple and Clean, which is a song they put into Kingdom Hearts. If you guys have played Kingdom Hearts, it's a song. It's all like, when you walk away. Here's Regina Spektor. I can't think of Fidelity. That's a mainstream song that got popular. Another chick in the back, her name's Roisin Murphy. This is Emotion Heap. You know Emotion Heap because she made that one song that turned into a meme. It's called Hide and Seek. And then the song, it goes, what you say, ooh, that you only meant who we're with him, cause you're dear. And then this is Emmy Rossum, who I think is in some kind of show on HBO or something. But she was also Bulma in this abortion of a Dragon Ball Z movie, the one that everybody hates. And I hate to just sidetrack and get really, No, I'm not. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? As we continue up the list, all right, guys, of what is it? 33 things. They didn't tell you that would happen, that when you're aging. They didn't tell you. They don't tell you it's going to happen when you're aging. Come on. Number 5 reads that try as you may, you're never fully prepared for your parents getting older. It's really sad that this is pretty much this whole list. People just saying, my dad's getting old, no. Somehow I still half expected my mom to be able to do certain things, and it's disheartening that she can't. Even more so that she lacks the ambition and drive to do much. Mortality is a bitch, basically. Somebody else said, same, my mom had me super late. I'm 27 and she's turning 70. I can't fucking deal with all the shit. Ugh. Do you think he meant literal shit? No, that's not cool. Shut up, Kyle. My dad is also 70, and I've often thought about what it would be like to not have him around. And it scares the shit out of me. Someone else responds, I mean, this is the nicest way possible. As someone whose dad died when I was 18, my mom died this year when I was 22. It's absolutely fucking terrifying and horrible, but you learn so much about yourself, and you'll suddenly realize you're nowhere near as helpless as you think, and you'll also realize the huge group of friends and family you have around to support you. You can't say that. A lot of people really don't have that. It's not as easy by any means, but you will get through it, and your parents would be unbelievably proud of how well you coped. Sorry, stream, if I'm not paying attention here. I hope you guys are having a hot and sexy day. Hot and spicy indeed. I just wasted $20 on another fucking hair clipper, which is basically one of the donations that I got last night. So thank you again, Kiki Lexeus. Lexeus really made my ass fall out with one of his donations yesterday. So thanks again, Lexeus. Kiki, Lexeus, and Harry. Because I just bought a hair clipper because the one that I have in Miami is in Miami. It was not getting to me anywhere near in time for me to cut my hair. Why did that come to your mind in the middle of this, though? There was no segue. There was no thing that would light that up in your brain. What were you thinking about, Kyle? What were you thinking about? Somebody says, I'm crying just reading this and thinking about losing my mom. I'm not ready. My mom. Oh my God, this list. Number 4, the part where all these broken bones, torn ligaments, and injuries that never healed correctly, imperfect posture, terrible lift form, all build up. They eventually explode as you get older. It sucks. Somebody says, ugh, I'm 26 and I have a horrible slouch. Every time I remember, I fix my posture. But when I'm not conscious of it, I fall back into the slouch. I'm scared for my back when I get older. Somebody says, do this routine. It's a routine here. Just gonna throw that into the comment section if anybody's interested in that. It says, do this routine once a day and your slouch will be corrected / prevented. That routine has been thrown into the stream chat for anybody who wants it. I'm also gonna put it up into the my little bookmarks up here. Every time I notice myself hunching a bit, I pick this routine back up for a few weeks and I'm set for a while. It takes 2 minutes. I do it in the shower. Someone find me a 2-minute routine that I can do every day to not be such a lardy maglarby. Okay. With the funk and waggles. Someone named BGTYY14 says, I hope you're doing well, Kyle. You have really saved me from being bored at work. Well, that's all I can hope to do, is help some people get to sleep that otherwise may not, and keep people from being bored at work. Or in a marriage they hate. I know you hate your marriage. That probably shocked the hell out of somebody who probably hates their marriage. Hilarious. I recently found out that some girl that was married was sexting somebody. And I was like, she wouldn't talk to me. I can't believe this. And I just thought it was funny because that was my response instead of like going, oh my God, I can't believe this girl was sexting in the middle of her marriage. It was just like, she seemed really horrified of me. which is like a response that I expect from high school Kyle, man. I'm a nice guy now, you know? But fucking like high school Kyle? I was a scary dude. I understand the fear. It is well placed, my dear. Number 3 reads that you can often prevent but rarely go back. It applies to skin, joints, and many other issues. Boy, is this list starting to bore me. Not because the list is boring, but because, like, I get it. I'm gonna get old. Maybe I've had enough. Oh man, maybe I've had enough. As we proceed up the list, that's the wrong fucking. Why is that even there? Delete that. Remove. Yeah. As we travel up the list of 33 things they don't tell you about aging, I'm gonna give another special sexy thanks to my patrons for being the incredible and unstoppable force that they are. Like a hurricane up my butt. You know what I mean? What a compliment. You know you want that compliment. Go be a patron or something. We arrive at the last 2. And the second one reads, now that I can afford to eat anything I want and drink as much as I want, I can't because it's too unhealthy for me. Hilarious. Somebody else says, I'm the same with clothes. Now that I can afford the cool stuff, I'm too old and fat to wear it. And cars. I could afford something flashy, but now I'm more interested in my MPG and the safety ratings. You gotta figure out them miles per gallon, baby. You're trying to spend that money or you're trying to make it. Somebody else responds, I'm too old, 62, to wear cool clothes too, but I do anyway, fuck it. So what? I look like an old fool. We arrive at number 1. The fact that I don't feel older, just that younger people seem even younger. So this is like a repackaging of what I was saying, but you just don't feel older. It just happens. You are technically older. Somebody else says, exactly, I am 31 and a 15-month-old daughter, with a 15-month-old daughter, and I still feel way too young to have a kid. But then I see people in their early 20s with kids, and my mind explodes. How does that little kid have a baby already? Somebody else says, I think the only noticeable indication that I'm not in my 20s anymore are body aches and pains. I'm a little squishier and saggier, and I'm all of a sudden susceptible to developing allergic reactions to a number of things that have never given me issues before. But there isn't enough money in the world that could convince me to go back unless I got to take my gained wisdom with me. Jesus, Kyle, mute the mic if you're gonna. Guys, there's that list. You know what I mean? What the fuck? What's going on Reddit? I had another list that I was going to do, but it was too short. So I think I'm going to include that right here as a bonus list in case you guys are interested. So here's the bonus list that I also found. It was a pretty spicy topic, but it didn't have enough entries to make itself its own list. You see, when we get to number 20, it starts to bottom out, and bottoming out, as far as I'm concerned, means that it doesn't have a lot of upvotes, you know? So even if I were to start the list at 10, yeah, 2,000 is a decent sized amount of upvotes, but I like it to be way higher, you know? So I'm going to probably start around number 15. And for clarity, the question being asked here is, psychologists of Reddit, what is something that you have learned from listening to people's problems and secrets? So if you want to be technical, it could kind of be another aging thing because, you know, most people who are going to a therapist have lived through, you know, almost a lifetime's worth of garbage, unless they just have a lot of money and then throw in themselves at a therapist because they're a cuck, you know? So number 15 reads, the whole you have to want to change is surprisingly ultra relevant. A huge majority of people I've worked with weren't really looking for change. Seeing a professional was just the thing to do, really. It's alarming how many people want to both improve their issues yet somehow not change anything in their life. Yep, it's like my favorite, Simpsons thing with when Flanders is young, his parents were hippies. And he was a problematic child, so the Flanders' hippie parents took him in to, I guess, a therapist or something. Or maybe it was Hibbert. I don't remember if it was Hibbert. He took him to some sort of therapist. And they go, we haven't tried anything and we're all out of ideas. You know what I mean? It's just like, dude, if you want to change, you got to do something to change. You can't just expect it to happen. It's healthy that you've recognized that you want to change and that you're trying to do something about it. but not doing anything isn't going to get you anywhere. So on the list of on the list of things that psychologists have learned from patients, number 14 reads, I have learned just how often we find ourselves in a relationship which are designed to resolve our childhood wounds. I have learned just how often we find ourselves in relationships which are designed to resolve our childhood wounds. I am a relationship therapist and always take on full sessions with a couple to look at their whole family of origin. Very often, by the end of the session, the couple themselves are explaining to me in some way how they are recreating childhood issues to attempt to resolve them as adults. It's crazy frequent. Someone else says, are there marriages, in your opinion, that absolutely will not or cannot, because of their situation, be saved, even if both parties are trying? If so, when you see couples like this, what do you do? The same person responds, I am wondering if you are asking me about a relationship of your own. Sometimes people become anxious that their relationship is unsalvageable or different from others because of X or Y circumstance. Very often, I see relationships like these and feel that they are more a symptom of those person's anxieties about being with the other person as opposed to a rule or general set of guidelines about relationships. This is again a bit technical, folks. To answer your question very directly, there will be relationships that are going to be a serious challenge to make work, especially those where both parties are unable to flex and compromise or understand the other person's position. Nigga, let me break this down in layman's terms real quick. You know what I'm talking about? A relationship with anybody is a compromise. It's something that you're going to have to live with. You have to be able to bend and flex, as the person says, for both parties. Both parties are going to be a necessary, contributors in the whole trying to make this thing work. Because if one person is willing to bend over backwards for the other and do and give, if the other person is just taking, it's not going to survive after a while. Each party needs to be just as willing to do for one another. And here's the crazy thing. You want to know what my ideal perfect relationship is? This may shock you. My idea of a perfect ideal relationship is a person who is almost self-destructively available for the other person. A person that is willing to just do almost anything, even if it's like bad for themselves, for the other person, right? But that's just half of it. You want to know what I believe is that both parties should be that for each other. Like if one person is willing to hurt themselves for another person, as long as they find another person that's willing to hurt themselves for them, you know what I mean? Then it'll be perfect. And I know that sounds unhealthy, dude, but hey, if that person's got your back, to the point where they're not even thinking about their own back, if the person that you have the back of has your back, dude, then it's a perfect circle. It's a perfect circle. Oh my gosh. Oh my God, a perfect circle. What's going on here? Anthony says, hello, Kyle. Who the hell are you? I'm kidding. How you doing, Anthony? Alex says, thank you, Kyle, for the link. Now I'm flapping my wings. You'll be able to take flight soon, Alex. Take those broken wings and learn to fly again. Learn to live so free. And when we hear the voices sing, the book of love will open up and let us in. Take these broken wings. We've got to learn to love, learn to fly, love so free, yeah. That's a hot song, you know what I'm talking about? The other day I had to teach Stripes who Bolton was, because she didn't know. Jeez. Stripes. So to continue up this list of things that psychologists have learned from patients, we arrive at number 13. Everything is subjective. One person can view an event as an opportunity, while another in the same situation can view it as a threat. Yep. What is this? Oh, I get it. One person's looking down and they see a 6. The other person sees a 9. It's all about perspective. It's all about perspective. Wow, it's all about perspective. Stupid. Professional commenter says she's got to go. Enjoy your birthday, little lady. I hope people make you smile today and for the week following. You deserve that. But I wish that of everybody here. I hope that you guys don't focus on things that would stress you the hell out, Emily. And that instead you take a breather and remember that nobody should possess the capacity to provoke you emotionally, Emily. Because in the big picture, they don't really have any stake in where your life is gonna, go. It's too important. It's too sexy. I can't believe we went through the whole stream without Soup showing up and trying to donate something just to splash up his dumb image that would accompany the super donation. And that nobody subscribed throughout it. I can't make this shit up. I'm not joking. I can't make this shit up. I just said it's crazy that nobody subscribed and the fucking noise went off right there. That was fucking live. I promise you there was no way for me to see that coming before it came. Someone just subscribed in the middle of me going, it's crazy no one subscribed or donated, because it would have interrupted me with notification noises and all kind of bullshit. Are you kidding me? It's a shame I didn't have Stripes on a phone call, because she would have fucking farted, out of laughing so hard. That was ridiculous. What are the odds? What are the odds that we would have streamed for 1 hour and 31 minutes and nobody subscribed to the channel, And then when I said, I think it's kind of weird that nobody subscribed, somebody was like, well, guess what? You know what I mean? Oh my God. Look, let me finish this list of things that psychologists have learned from patients. Number 11 says, currently a doctoral student doing my clinical training as a therapist. I had one client who adamantly believed that happiness is a choice and lived by his belief. This client really changed my outlook on my own life, and I find myself stressing less about small stuff that doesn't matter in the long run. I also don't let choices of others have such a negative impact on my own mood as they have in the past, which was a huge struggle on my own. This, of course, is not always going to be an option for everyone all the time, especially for those who suffer from clinical anxiety, depression, and things of the like. This was a high-functioning client who had a fairly good handle on things, so it worked well for them. It was really an excellent reminder that our clients aren't just there to learn from us and our guidance, but we are so much there to learn from them as well. Ooh. Number 10, having shitty parents will fuck up your life. This is coming from a fucking psychiatrist. Well, we know that. Even if you find a way to have career success, a happy relationship, meet other goals, internally something will be off for you. And that many of us are one horrific life event away from being a total train wreck. It's true. I can say something as simple as like, hey man, try to be upbeat. Try not to let things affect you, It's not the things that happen to you that define you. It's how you deal with the things that happen to you that define you. But hey man, when life hits hard, motherfucker. Know what I'm talking about? Life hits. Sometimes I always panic, look at the name to make sure it's believable. You know what I mean? Because some people could just be making new accounts just to fucking whatever. When I'm looking at a name going, how plausible is a name like that? Look. Let's scroll up. Number 9. There are not enough people who advocate themselves because they don't want to cause a fuss or problem, even if the problem is the root of their issue. Ooh, let's talk about some women right now. Ladies, I love you to death. And I love everything about you, the big ass titties, some nice hips, the squeezable butts. You get what I'm saying? But many of the women that I know, okay, have their feet on the ground. They're very aware of themselves. They're the furthest you can get from a basic chick. They're very impressive. They're sexy just by existence because they have a mind. They're not just the type of dim-witted, surface type asshole that has nothing to offer and couldn't name anything if you were to go, what are your interests? They're passionate about living. They're passionate about some of the things that they have going on in their life. And most importantly, you can speak to them in a down-to-earth fashion. What am I saying when I say this? I'm saying that unfortunately, some of these girls who are very capable of like noticing, like utilizing their deductive reasoning and seeing a problem. You know what I mean? Like your average basic chick, when there's a problem, she's bitching about it. She's whining about it. She's not doing anything about it, you know? And you know, it's like the fucking typical trope. A guy is just wanting to fix the problem. You know, he sees what's wrong. He's trying to fix it, etc. But some of these girls know that if they open their mouth, they're immediately going to be known as the bitch. And that's what keeps them, in most cases, from putting their foot down and being obvious about some shit that sometimes, as far as they're concerned, deserves them squawking and being like, what the fuck is all this shit about? You know what I mean? They're totally justified in coming off like that with some of the things that go down. But because they would receive the stigma of being a bitch, they reserve themselves to a life of, these women reserve themselves to a life of essentially being non-confrontational, which is terrible, dude, because like sometimes things deserve a confrontation. Things are worthy of a confrontation, but because it's so easy for people to just attach this rain cloud of, oh, she's a bitch over her, because especially if anybody sees like her squawking and upset out of context, then they won't know what the hell's really going on. You know what I'm talking about? And it sucks because because like, yeah, like this person is saying, dude, they don't want to cause a fuss or a problem, but sometimes they deserve to be able to, but they're not doing it because of all of the shit that society has placed on them, or they've basically been harassed into silence. And that's what's rude. That's what's rude as hell. Well, Closer says, I love when Kyle goes on female rants. Look, man, this is actually a rant in the females' defenses, because I love some of these girls that I know, and the fact that they often reserve themselves, they often restrain themselves is the better term, in the interest of being non-confrontational, in the interest of not raising a fuss so that people don't regard them as a bitch, even though shit ain't their fault. You know what I mean? That's fucked up. That's fucked up, because I know some girls who damn near approach like doormat status with how they let people just go on with what they doing, because if they were to raise their voice, if they were to say, nah, this shit is fucked up, they'd be like, why you gotta be a bitch and all this bullcrap? You know what I mean? Guys are assholes. Fuck them, you know? Girls, let's get together and kill all the men except me, you know? And maybe we could kill all the men and I'll just be a female for a week. You know what I'm talking about? I can be whatever I want to be. You guys, that's how it works now. Sorry. It's nothing special about being a woman. I'm a woman now. What do you think? What do you think? I'm a gay woman, though, because I want the ladies. I am a gay woman. I'm a gay woman. It's all in me, except my penis, baby, because that's on the outside naturally. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Do you guys know the song I'm Every Woman? No? Oof. Ugh, tough crowd. All right, let's go up this list. The psychologist learned from patients. Oh boy, number 8. As soon as you mention the word psychology, people see it as a gateway to tell you all of their problems. A simple, lighthearted conversation with a stranger can turn into me knowing their full family history and their reasons why they drink so much. It's lovely to be the person they open up to, but it's hard going when you're out with your friends at a pub and you can't find an appropriate break in their talking to tell them you need to leave. Ugh. When you have the type of authority someone respects, almost any information is freely shared. You're a police officer? I have a friend with this criminal problem. How can I help him? Therapist? My life story was a tragic one. Let me start from the beginning. Priest, missionary, I have sinned terribly. How do I repent? It can be tiring to respond to all of the inquiries, especially as it is often difficult to effectively address an issue in such a setting, but somehow it can be extremely rewarding at times. Somebody responds, "This barely holds a candle to those problems," but as an IT person, yes, I am God. I am the IT man. We get the same deal. Everyone that knows you everyone that knows how you know how to run a computer will ask you to solve problems that you might not even be able to fix. For me, I do it specifically. No, I find it incredibly rewarding. And while I get worn out at times, I still help because it's rewarding. Damn, Closer says that's why I love Kyle. Whether you're criticizing women or trying to empower them, you're always on point. Interesting. Closer loves me, maybe in public, but she's always wearing the leather in the private. You know what I mean? Get on your knees. Whoosh. Zelamar says Kyle gender fluid confirmed. Come on now, Harry. Hey, I just realized your name's Harry, Zelamar, like Harry Potter. You better take that shit to wizard school, Zelamar. Alex U says a society where it's all women except Kyle because he's a sperm donor. Donar, that's like 2 letters away from donate. I like that. I like the term DONAR because it almost implies like maybe you donate, maybe then I give you the sperm. You know what I'm talking about, ladies? Okay, that's enough. That is exceptionally enough, Kyle. Serious Sketch says Kyle being Kyle is the reason I throw money at him. Oh, bing bong. Zelamar said die. Oh no! Your response makes me wonder if other people tease you about Harry Potter bullcrap, did they? Anyway, as we travel up the list of things that psychologists learn from patients, the question is, psychologists of Reddit, what have you learned from listening to people's problems and secrets? Like what is, reoccurring? Number 7 says people around you. People you might interact with on a daily basis. Some have had really fucked up things happen to them. Some have been tortured, like actual real torture. Some have been raped. Some have had loved people choked to death in their arms. Some have had to kill others in combat. Some have been mock executed. Also, the non-trauma side, I guess. What I found rather shocking was how everyone can be affected by mental illness. A loving mother, bam. Now you think the mafia wants to poison your every drink and send your child as a spy. You've become psychotic due to depression / psychosis / schizophrenia / drug sequela. Successful student, bam, you just got into a major debt because you gambled it all away while having a maniac episode. Mental illness strikes at random and can't be well understood from the outside by your family and friends. It's like an invisible curse, and people actually shun you because they're scared of you. Don't get what you're going through. All they see is this fucking weirdo. People get really lonely because no one understands them. We all know what that's like. We all know what that's like. Oh. You can't be upset with yourself because you're lonely, man. You're lonely for a reason. And it's because most of the people that you would think to associate with actually aren't worth associating with. And I've said it plenty of times before and let it be a loud growl from the Kyle as usual. It's not worth associating with people who are bad for you. Better to have no friends than to have bad ones, because they'll fuck you over in a way where you'd wish that you just didn't have them. But maybe it needs to happen. Maybe it needs to happen so that you understand. But again, and this is perhaps the saddest thing, but the most real thing that I'm going to say to you, is that most people can't afford to have an opportunity to fuck up, And I guess the easiest analogy there would be like a kid not knowing that he needs to look both ways when he crosses the street. That's a mistake he can't afford to make, my nigga. You know what I'm talking about? And in the same way, you making a friend that is only after something with you, you know what I mean? That's going to convince you to perhaps join some kind of weird cult, and not a sexy cult where, I want to feel you up and, just, I don't know, make you happy or something. But like a cult where they want everybody to die. They're like hemorrhaging your fucking funds on a fucking daily basis. They're indoctrinating you with stupid shit and making you like a literal idiot. You know what I'm talking about? If it isn't Gaint Jacker, Jacker. Genter says, I finally caught a live chat. You guys are always so late to these streams. But the fact that you're here at all is something that I appreciate. Hope that your days go well. This is probably one of the coolest things I consider to be, what everybody is going down with. Cool being a kind of interesting term. I don't think it's good that many people have been tortured or raped or had to kill people or had people die in their arms or been, in these terrible situations or had people growing them up that were crazy. But I just think the fact that some of us can shake this shit off and still jump through the hoops that society has erected for us. That's right. I use the term erected, like an erection, It just shows the capacity for human resilience. We're all strong. And a lot of people, when they come into the stream chats on the Confession podcast, they're talking about how they're lonely, and they're talking about how they feel weak. They're talking about how they're insecure, and they're talking about how, they have these vices. They get drunk and they do drugs and they just don't want to feel this way. You're so much stronger than you give yourself credit, because at the same time, you're living your life according to, humanity is fucking stupid. You've probably heard me tease on and off some of the silliest things that we're all about as a society, dude. Things that society just decides that changes as time progresses. And, I'm not saying that we shouldn't observe laws. I'm not saying that, it's stupid, the whole concept, of going to sleep at this time and waking up at this time because, it's dark out, it's light out, shit like this. You know what I mean? Silly things that, are irrelevant. And you have to kind of be looking at a certain perspective to see it a certain way. I got my tinfoil hat on right now, but my point is, you can do it, and I'm picturing the guy in the fucking Adam Sandler movies, but you wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. Shut up, Kyle. And you jump through these hoops. You do all of these corny ass things. You stand in an elevator. You walk down the street in your dumbass shirt that this isn't even the way that you would want to dress if you got to choose, This isn't even the way that you would want to if you wanted to choose. And you do it because you are invested in how you would be seen. You are essentially invested in basically, and the comedy is, at the same time, even though you feel lonely, you kind of don't want to be approached sometimes, not by the wrong people. So you dress in a way where you blend in, you act in a way where you blend in and you don't stand out. Have you ever been in a public scenario where something crazy happens? You know what I mean? And I don't want to say crazy, but maybe somebody is just acting the fool. Maybe somebody's getting really loud. Maybe somebody is like clearly having not like a breakdown, but they're like talking to themselves and maybe they're squealing to themselves pretty loud and shit like this. And you kind of like look around and maybe you see somebody else like exchanging like a sideways glance at you. At that moment, you're connecting with that person in like a what the fuck is going on out here? You know what I mean? Type of way. And the crazy thing is that's what, I don't know. That's what we're avoiding becoming. It seems like a run-on like thought, but it's just like, dude, what the fucking hell? You have what it takes to put on this mask and be this like, law observing person. And that takes strength, because if it were up to you and the law was off your back and you didn't have to earn a crazy amount of money for like a day or a week, you probably wouldn't get out of bed. And if you would, you wouldn't talk to anybody. You wouldn't make eye contact with anybody. You would live a completely different life if there were no rules for a little bit of time. And the fact that you force yourself to abide by those rules means that you have the ability to restrain yourself. It means that you have the strength to do what you are asked to do. And I don't think that's a small feat. I think that's something that you should pat yourself on the back about. Am I saying like, hey, you own a gun and you haven't shot anybody in the face? No, I'm saying like, just like I've mentioned this in the past, this is a good analogy. You're riding in the car and you've thought to yourself, oh, you have like the impulse, you have the urge, you have like just this random thought. I could open up this car door right now and just go rolling out of the fucking car. You know what I mean? Naturally, you don't do that because of reasons, because of reasons. But it does take a bit of restraint for you to get up and do that, or not do that. And that's something that I think you should give yourself credit for. Where is this going? Where is this going? The list is over. And that's why I'm losing my mind. Up in here. But yeah, no, this list is about psychologists telling people what they have learned from their patients. So we can quickly just finish this up. I'm going to make this bigger. Number 6 says, most, if not all of us, blow shit out of proportion all the time. You already know it. Somebody responds saying, anxiety sufferer, chiming in. Everything is stressful for me on a normal day. Shower too wet, 10-minute walk to the train station too far, bus not smiley enough today, so it must be my fault. It's exhausting. Oh, boss not smiley enough. I was like, boss, nigga, you want people smiling at you on the bus? How you doing? You know what I mean? What the fuck? Anyway, yet my mind is like, let's mull this small, insignificant thing over for hours. Y'all need something more to do in your life. You know what I'm talking about? I'm kidding. We don't know because some people just struggle with anxiety, okay? Now, number 5 says, this is a long one, that people are more decent and more resilient than I had previously thought. That suffering is part of the human condition and is not unusual for people to experience depression or anxiety problems at some point in their life. Someone's distress about their problem doesn't necessarily correlate with how big that problem objectively looks to others. In order to benefit from the therapy, people need to have the humility and curiosity to try something different, to try thinking and behaving differently. That it can be frustrating when someone just uses therapy to talk about themselves, but doesn't make changes in their life, even though they're identified that their behavior is dysfunctional and is making others unjustifiably happy. That's the crazy thing, is that a lot of people can recognize a problem, but people won't do anything about it. That even though this work often makes me crave time away from people, that's eye-opening, and I love it. You're working as like psychologist and you have to deal with people and hear about them, talk about their bullshit problems, and then see that these people are recognizing their problems and choosing not to do anything about it. It's like somebody's just like, hey man, I got a shitload of viruses on my computer and it's hurting the computer and soon it's not going to work. And I've got a it's going to fucking die soon, but I'm not going to do anything about it. How do you feel about that? Look at this computer. Watch it die. Watch this computer die. Do you know what that's like to me as a technology boy? Okay. It's like having to watch a cat that's dying. Think about that, ladies. I just put that in girl terms, okay? Me watching a computer that's slowly dying, that's like, help me, Gael, okay? It's like watching a kitty cat that's all like, meow. Or better yet, then the car comes along. I wonder if Emily's still watching. Emily, if Emily is still watching, and then just like imagine like a cat is just in the middle of the street and it's all like, meow, and then a car comes and it's all like, and then like it's also like a fusion of the car hitting the animal, so it's like, and then the animal making noise, so it's like I got you, woo, fucking worth it. I was on the phone with Emily one day when there was a dead cat in the street, and I said to Emily, "Oh shit, that cat got hit by a car." And then I did like an impression of the cat getting hit by a car. Oh no! Oh my god! Jecker says anxiety is exhausting, especially figuring out if the feelings are actually relevant or just your brain overreacting. I don't know. I think we give ourselves a lot of, shit and think that we're making a bigger deal of everything than we are. But I think it's just human, and that we're forced to react. We must react to some things that happen to us. And that at the same time, we shouldn't give ourselves shit because, people have it worse. Because again, that's exactly like saying, we shouldn't be happy because somebody else is happier. We've received $10, but we shouldn't be grateful. We shouldn't be like crazy about it because somebody else is getting $20 somewhere. You know what I mean? Emily, I'm not mean. How am I mean? Come on, Emily. It's just a hypothetical cat getting hit by a hypothetical car. It all exists in the mind. You know what I mean? And then the cat just spins and he's fine, And he's got 8 more lives. Emily, is that better? Is that better? This guy goes on to say that even though this work often makes me crave time away from people, it's rare to come across a patient I don't like. Everybody has something likable that makes me feel tender towards them. Tender, baby. Chicken tenders. Even if they don't realize it. And it's often a quality they're not particularly aware of. That if I give all to every patient, or give my all to every patient, they will probably benefit from feeling that I am totally present, passionate about helping them, and that I understand and I like them. But if I do all of that for every patient, I've nothing left over for me and my loved ones. So I've learned not to. It's an uneasy compromise, but it's the only way I could find balance. Life is not fair. I learned that from the opening theme of Malcolm in the Middle. Hey, internet, when did Malcolm in the Middle air? January 9th, 2007. 2000. That was 17 years ago, boys. 17 years ago is when Malcolm in the Middle first aired, and we got our fucking first taste of Bryan Cranston. And we had no idea what this guy was capable of as far as an actor. Holy bing bong. You know what I mean? Hachi machi. I want Comic-Con to happen so I can get another Marvel trailer. I've never watched Breaking Bad. Oh well, I'll get around to it when I have somebody that likes me and wants to watch stuff with me. Jeez. Jesse Green says, then when you figure out that it's just your anxiety makes you panic over having anxiety. I had a friend like this, and then she ended up becoming bulimic, and she would talk to me about how she felt so childish and stupid and like a baby because she would overreact to stuff. And then she would get mad at herself for overreacting about overreacting. Hannah sent me a text message that said I better do some Junkin' Jacks, Kyle. God damn it. Why can't I just speak like a normal person? Diving to the bottom of the world's deepest pool in a single breath. So how deep is the pool? How deep is your pool? How deep is your pool? Goes even deeper, bro. Cause, hey, fuck that. He is not. Oh, white people. Oh, you go, white people. Oh my God, he is not. And he's not even going straight down, dude. He's just like playing around. But the pressure could kill you. Dude. Dude, what the fuck? Oh, you guys can't even see it. Okay, I'm sorry. You guys can't even see it. We're gonna start it over. So you guys can see it, okay? I'm sorry. That reaction was hilarious considering you guys couldn't see it. Alright, yeah, like it's just some guy and he's in a pool and I'm all like, how deep is the pool? You know what I mean? How deep is your pool? Oh man. Sir Dominus Lamont is like, I can't see, man, with the bing bong. Okay, you guys will see what the fuck I'm freaking out about when you see this guy. Because he's like, the pool is there, but he's like, oh no, wait, the pool gets a little bit deeper and he's about to get to it. And then what the fuck? And then this is where I expect to be him just like, man, fuck all that. And just going back to the surface. Are you kidding? No, man. Oh my God, what are you thinking? He's not gonna do this. And then, like I said, the crazy part to me is that, you know, if you're going down there, go down, man. Preserve that air because the pressure's gonna fuck you up when you get down and shit. He's just like thinking about it like, you know, I don't know. This has to be multiple shots. I don't fucking believe it. This has to be multiple shots. Like, it has to be different takes of him going down. Because some of the camera angles had it in front of him. Some of the camera angles have it below him. You know what I'm talking about? It's multiple takes. I don't buy this for a second. I don't buy it for a second. A lot of multiple takes. We're going into the comment section. Fuck that. I don't believe it. Did he swim back up on the same breath? Or did someone give him oxygen at the bottom? It ended too soon. People said, nah, he died a few seconds later. Hilarious. What are the other comments? Somebody said, fuck that. I was out of breath like 30 seconds into the GIF. Why are you holding your breath during the GIF, momie? The free diver is Gliamneri. The pool is called Y40, or Deep Joy. The pool first opened on the 5th of June 2014 and was designed by architect Emanuele Borretto. It is a 40 meters deep, which is 131 feet, making it the deepest pool on Earth. Oh my God, dude. It contains a lot of water. Yeah, as you would expect. Here is a cool video. Look, man, this is confusing. We could just browse interesting as fuck, to be honest, and see just how much not safe for work crap we can find. That's how I get down. Demonstrating the shielding wall technique. Look at these little kids. Ooh. Oh, that's so cool. An adaptive LED backlight system. You get it? So that like the colors that are, you know, happening on the screen will light the back of the TV up. That's cute. That's cool. Wait, what the hell are we talking about 7 shit in the stream? Why does Closer keep saying 7 what? Oh my God, 7 what though? Like 7 pools? It's like 7 deep. 7 baseball fields? 7 Kyels? Jesse Green says, I think that pool is deeper than 7 Kyels, though. Not if I was fit like dick end to dick end. You know what I'm talking about? I said it. Oh my god. Now, I'm going to go ahead and find out what this is and where I can get it. Hopefully the Chinese are selling it super cheap. Look up ambient TV on YouTube, and you can make that yourself with a special kind of LED stripe and a Raspberry Pi. What the fuck is Dream Screen TV? Pre-order. You punk bitches. How much is it? Look, it's alright, but how much is it though? You see what I'm saying? Pre-order meow. I'm serious. This better be reasonably. But you got me fucked up. What the jingle Brahms? It ain't that cool. Y'all got me fibbled out. Nope, don't care. Okay. What the jingle Brahms, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, we've been at this for who knows how long. It's been like a 2-hour and 6-minute stream now. So, I love you to death, and I will be seeing you guys. What's going on over here? User explains why we don't use pencils in space. When NASA first started sending astronauts into space, they realized that the ballpoint pen would not work in zero gravity. Oh, cool. $1 million investment and 2 years of test resulted in a pen that could write in space, upside down on almost any surface, and at temperatures ranging from below freezing to over 300 degrees Celsius. When confronted with the same problem, the Russians used a pencil. Interesting. Somebody responds. In the early years, I don't even know if you guys can fucking read this. Let me get it nice and squished up in there. All right. In the early years of spaceflight, both Russians and Americans used pencils in space. Unfortunately, the pencil lead is made of graphite, a highly conductive material. Snapped graphite leads snapped graphite leads, because it's spelled the same way in English, and graphite particles in a zero gravity are hugely problematic, as they will get sucked into air ventilation or electronic equipment, easily causing shorts or fires in the pure oxygen environment of a capsule. After the fire in Apollo 1, which killed all astronauts on board, NASA required a writing instrument that wasn't a fire hazard. Fisher spent over $1 million of his own money creating a pressurized ballpoint pen, which NASA bought at $2.95 each. The Russians also switched over from the pencil shortly after. 40 years later, snide morons on the internet still snigger about it, because snide morons on the internet never know what they're talking about. Interesting. What's the comment section all about? $299. What are you people talking about? Snigger is another term for laughing. It's kind of like a snicker or a giggle. That's just what it is. What did Michael say? Whatever. Okay. Michael said something. How could we catch? Let's try to catch what Michael said. You know what I'm talking about? Let's try to catch what Michael said. I'm gonna go back a little bit in time. Let's try to catch it, guys. I'm gonna catch what Michael said. Come on. Okay. Michael Davis said, "That's our word." And then he realized what he said, that stupid bitch. See? He said, "That's our word." Okay. But in reality, he didn't realize. He didn't realize that she wasn't saying that. He retracted his comment, that motherfucker. He said it was a dumb joke. Don't worry about it. We see that. We see that indeed. Okay. Well, guys, now that we have exposed Michael Davis and what he thought that she said, it has been a great stream. Thank you, all of you, for being here. Special thanks, of course, to my wonderful and outrageous patrons who are keeping crap like this just going, you know what I mean? And I really do need to, I want to say, make a more condensed video, because I feel like that's what they may be used to and that may be what they want. So I need to find a good topic, and you can expect that later today. And then expect a list tonight where we're talking about, like, probably the weirdest things you've gotten off to. That'd be an interesting topic. So I'll see you all later. You all know how to get a hold of me, so I look forward to hearing from you. Okay. Bye. Wait, and then the other page. And then also a special specific thanks to Lexeus and Kiki and Faith and Harry for being so crazy. Got me feeling so crazy right now. See you soon. Nice seeing you as well, Jesse Green. I wonder where you've been. We can talk about it later. Bye.